Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. So, today I have a real treat for you. I'm going to be showing you how to make Chicago style pizza in a cast iron straight from your own home. Oh, yeah, this is going to be awesome. All right, so I'm not going to get into the whole argument of which is better, Chicago or New York. To me, I don't think that matters. I really honestly like both. I don't really have a preference. To me, a pizza is a pizza, and I don't think you can go wrong with any kind of pizza. Well, except for those weirdos who like pineapple on their pizza, but that's an aside. Anyway, I've been to Chicago twice in my life. Once was for work, and the other was for fun. And as I understand it, there are three different types of Chicago style pizza. You have your traditional deep dish, you have stuffed, and you have something called tavern. Today, I'm going to be tackling what is known as stuffed pizza. It's one of my favorites to do, and I'm looking forward to showing you how to do it.
Okay, for our pizza dough, we're going to start with about 1 1/3 cups of warm water, about 110 and 115, between 110 and 115 degrees. So adding that to a stand mixer bowl. And to that, we're going to add about a little over a tablespoon of active dry yeast and 2 teaspoons of sugar. We're going to give that a mix. Okay, we're just going to let that get nice and frothy. In about 5 minutes should do it. And then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, next we're going to go in with the rest of the ingredients. We're going in with 5 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of yellow cornmeal, and a little over a tablespoon of kosher salt. Okay, next we're going to mix everything in the stand mixer. We're then going to go in with about a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. Okay, so we've given the dough some mix in the stand mixer. We're just going to finish it up by hand. And the thing about this dough, it's a little bit tougher than your normal pizza dough. And the reason for that, we need a tough, sturdy dough because we're going to be loading this up with a lot of cheese and some meats. So we really need a tough, sturdy dough in order to encompass all that good stuff. Okay, we're just going to throw our dough into a bowl that's been greased, and we're just going to let that rise for about 4 hours. Alright, so our pizza dough is rising. While we wait for that to happen, let's focus on our Chicago-style pizza sauce. And the best thing about this sauce, we don't have to even cook it on the stove. It'll cook right in the oven when we put it in there. So let me show you how to do it. Okay, this is a super simple pizza sauce, you guys. So we're going to go in with a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Follow that up with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then we're going to go in with a 1/4 cup of olive oil, a tablespoon of sugar, 3 garlic cloves that I've minced up, 3 teaspoons of dried oregano, and a little bit more kosher salt and pepper. Give that a mix. And that is our Chicago-style pizza sauce. We're going to just set that aside, and then we'll get to assembling our pizza. Okay, so our dough has finished rising. We're just going to take it out. And all we're going to do now is we're going to split it in two. And then we're going to break off 1/3 of that. Combine the other two together. Okay, so now as you see, we have two different sized rolls of dough. The larger one is going to act as our base or the bottom crust of our dough, whereas the smaller portion is going to act as the top portion, or I guess you could say the lid of the pizza. So we're just going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and in the meantime, we'll start greasing up our cast iron. Okay, we're going to grease up our cast iron here. I'm going to use some unsalted butter and just smear it all over the bottom of the cast iron and also over on the sides of the cast iron, that is. So just give it a good coating. Go in with a little bit of cornmeal and some Parmesan cheese. Just give that a shake. And there we have our cast iron nice and greased and ready for our dough. Okay, we're going to now roll our dough. We're going to start with a larger portion. I'm going to start by putting it into some cornmeal, covering it up. We're then going to roll out the larger dough to 16 inches. So yes, we got that to 16 inches in width. Okay, so we're just going to set this aside. Now we're going to do the same thing for the smaller dough, covered in cornmeal. And I know what you're thinking, like, why is he using so much cornmeal? Trust me, apparently this is a thing with Chicago-style pizza. So just get it covered in the cornmeal. And then we'll roll this out to 14 inches. Like, this is going to be the lid, like I said, so. Alright, so let's lay down our bottom part of our pizza. Just going to slide that into the cast iron. Next thing we're going to do is add a layer of Italian sausage. And if you want to know how to make your own Italian sausage, I encourage you to check out my calzone video that I did about a week and a half, I can't remember, but this is left over from that. So we're just going to add a layer of that. Next thing we're going to do is add a layer of mozzarella cheese. If you're lactose intolerant, you're probably going to want to look away from all this. Next thing we're going to do is just add a little bit of water to the edges of the dough. This will just help to seal both sides. Now we're adding the lid. And then we're just going to trim off the excess dough. Next we're going to add a couple of Ventos. Now we got our sauce ready. We're just going to ladle that on top of the pizza. Alright, so now our pizza's ready. We have our oven preheated to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And God, is it hot in here. So we're going to put this in the oven for 12 minutes, rotate it another 180 degrees, and cook it for another 12 minutes. So 24 hours in total. Alright, so we've taken our pizza out of the oven. It's looking gorgeous. We're going to add some more Parmesan. And just a little bit more oregano. Alright, and then we're just going to let this rest for about 20 minutes. You do not want to dig into it right away because it will just burn your mouth, so we don't want to do that. So just let it sit, be patient. Trust me, it's hard to be patient with this, but just be patient. Alright, we're going to give this a slice, just... Oh my god, you guys, check that out! That is perfect. Oh, look at the cheese. Oh! And that, my friends, is how to make Chicago-style stuffed pizza. I'm really looking forward to this, you guys. And I hope you give this a try. And I will see you next time.